Okay, let's get started with Unit 2, Celebrating Culture. So now that you've completed everything for Unit 1, we're going to jump into our new unit. And our big idea for this unit is thinking about culture and how it influences the way people live. Every country has its own culture or way of life. The culture of the United States is special. It's made up of different customs and traditions brought by the many groups of people who have moved here over the years. In this unit, you'll learn about the culture of the United States. You will also compare our culture to the cultures of our neighboring countries. As you read, think about how different cultures influence life in the United States and your life. Show as you go. Pretend you've just moved to the United States from Canada, Mexico, or the Caribbean. After you read each lesson, compare the culture in your home country to the culture in the United States. You will use your notes to help you complete a project at the end of the unit. So over here, you're going to write about your home culture. And again, this is you pretending that you're coming from either Canada, Mexico, or the Caribbean. So you're going to pick which one you're from. I am from whichever one you choose. Some of the people who settled there long ago were, and you're going to name some of the people who settled in the different place that you came from. In my home country, we, so you can talk about the different things you do, the different things you eat, the different things you wear in the country that you came from, either Canada, Mexico, or the Caribbean. My life in the United States. Today I live in the state of, and you'll put the name of the state, and in the blank region of the United States. Since moving to the United States, I've learned, and over here you're going to talk about different things that you've learned since moving to the United States from whichever one of these countries that you're pretending to be from. You're going to write details about the lifestyle, about the food, about the culture, and these are things we're going to fill in as we go. You're going to list things that are the same about the United States and the country that you're from, and things that are different. So let's move on to the next page. Now over here, we're going to be talking about our reading skill, which is to summarize the main idea and the key details. So the main idea tells what a text passage is about. Often the main idea is in the first sentence of a paragraph. So it's one of the first things that you read is the main idea. And the things that come after it, or this other sentences that come after it, have the key details that tell more about the main idea. So we're going to find the main idea and the key details to help us understand what we're reading about and what we're learning. And then we'll be able to summarize our passage and explain what it's about. So let's go ahead to the Learn It section. It says, read the paragraph, ask, what is the paragraph about? See if there is a sentence which states the main idea. Look for key details that give more information about the main idea. Summarize the paragraph. Sometimes your summary will be the same as the main idea. So let's read this passage right here. There are lots of things to do in the Northeast. If you like the outdoors, you can hike in the mountains or sail along the coast. You can view fine art at many museums in the region. If you love to play sports, go to the park. There you can find people of all ages playing baseball, soccer, football, or basketball. So the main idea in this passage, they highlighted for us in yellow, that there are lots of things to do in the Northeast. So that's the main idea. The things that come after and tell us what things we can do, those are going to be your key details, or also called your supporting details. One of the key details is if you like to play sports, you can go to the park. It also says if you like art, you can go to the museums, or if you like hiking, you can hike in the mountains, or you can sail across the coast if you like sailing. Use a graphic organizer to write the main idea and the key details from the passage. Then complete the sentence. So over here, the main idea is this right here. One of the key details they put for you in green. The other ones are the ones we just discussed, so you can put the other two right here. And then the summary tells us that the paragraph is about the many things that we can do in the Northeast. Now we're going to go to the apply it section. Now over here, we're going to read the paragraph. We're going to circle what the main idea is, and then we're going to underline the key details as we read. Then we're going to write our summary on the lines below. Please make sure you're using your best handwriting when you go through this so that it's easy for me to read and grade for you. Let's get started on our reading. There are many different languages spoken throughout the United States. Many people speak only English. Other people speak other languages in addition to English. Aside from English, Spanish is the language you hear most often. Other languages spoken in the United States include French Creole, Portuguese, German, and Russian. So we're going to go through and we're going to circle our main idea. Now, our main idea, like we said, a lot of times is the first sentence in the passage. So we know after reading this, the main idea tells us that there are many languages that are spoken throughout the United States. So you would be circling this first sentence, these first two lines. Now, when we're talking about different languages, we're going to underline the things that tell us about the different languages. So aside from English, Spanish is a language you hear most often, so we would underline that. Other languages spoken in the United States include French Creole, Portuguese, German, and Russian. We would underline that as well. So up here, we were talking about the different languages spoken in the United States. Down here, we listed what those languages are. Now, when you go to write your summary, where it says, what is this paragraph about? We can say, this paragraph is about the many languages that are spoken in the United States. And that will give you a complete sentence and a good summary of the paragraph that you read above. Once you've completed that and you've used your best handwriting, we're going to go into the next pages where we're going to talk about our vocabulary for this lesson and words that are going to come up throughout this unit. Our words are going to be culture, artifact, diversity, contribution, cuisine, civilization, tradition, and heritage. Now over here, if you're looking at the way it's written kind of funny next to it, it's telling you how to pronounce it, so how to say it the right way. You don't need to cut up your page, that's fine. I just want you to get familiar with your words. Now over here is a section where I noticed that several of you guys are not following the directions properly. So I do want you to pay very close attention as we go through this. So on this side of the page is the definition for your vocabulary words. On this side of the page is where you're going to be using that definition to answer a question or fill in a blank or provide extra information. Please make sure you are reading it and doing only what they asked you to do. Your first word is the word culture. Culture is the way of life shared by a group of people. Over here, write a sentence using the word culture. Your second word is artifact. An artifact is something that was made or used by people in the past. So anything that was part of their life before is considered an artifact. So circle the words that belong with artifact. So something, remember, it has to be something that people made or used. So a tool could be an artifact, a painting could be an artifact. The rest of these words don't relate to the word artifact, other than the word old, because it's talking about things that are in the past. Your next word is the word diversity. Diversity means to have influences from many different cultures. So something that is diverse has a little bit of everything in it. It's not strictly from one place. So I want you to write a sentence using the word diversity over here, complete sentence. Your next word is the word contribution. A contribution is the act of giving or doing something. So when you contribute, you're doing something or you're giving something to something else. Circle two key words in the definition of contribution and write them here. So you're circling the words here and you're writing them down. So the two key words is either giving or doing. So giving and doing. Cuisine is a style of cooking. So when we're talking about the cuisine of a certain culture, we're talking about the food or the way they cook their food. So what is another word for cuisine? It's one I just told you. Cuisine is a style of what? A style of cooking. Now your next word is the word civilization. A civilization is a developed community. So it's not a group of people that just moved there and don't have any order. A civilization has rules and laws. It has a certain housing system that shows the way people live. They have a system for getting food and survival and how to deal with different things that come up. They have people who are in charge of certain things. So write a sentence using the word civilization. Now, your next word is the word tradition. A tradition is a way of doing something that's been passed along by families for many years. So a tradition is something that your great grandparents did, and they taught your parents, and now your parents are teaching you. It's just a way that you do something, or a way that maybe you celebrate something that's been done in your family for many, many, many years, not just in your immediate family, but it goes back to your parents and your grandparents and your great grandparents. So think about a tradition that you share with your family. So what's something you do when you have a holiday? What is a tradition that your family does when you have a holiday? Do you exchange gifts? Do you go somewhere special? Do you have a special meal together? So write a complete sentence telling me a tradition that you do with your family. Now, your last word for our vocabulary today is the word heritage. Heritage is ways of life that are handed down from the past. So think about the way that your family does things in general, and the way that they were taught to do those things by their parents and their parents. So you're going to write a sentence using the word heritage over here. Once you've made sure that you've written everything with complete sentences, please make sure you put your name and date somewhere up in this area so that I can see it. We're going to go on to the last part, which is our primary sources, where we're going to talk some more about one of our vocabulary words, which is artifacts. An artifact is one type of primary source. An artifact is something that was made or used by people in the past. Artifacts can be items such as pots, tools, or art. You can analyze or study artifacts to understand how people lived long ago. In this unit, you'll learn about different people who lived in the North America and the Caribbean. The artifacts on the page were used by Native Americans. Ask these questions as you study the top artifact. So we're going to be looking over here at this top artifact. What am I looking at? So the first thing you want to know is, what are you looking at? So this looks like an arrowhead. What is this object made from? It tells us that this object is made from stone. So this is a stone arrowhead. How could the object have been used? Well, we know it's sharp and it's pointy, so it could have been used as a knife or a cutting tool, or it may have been used for hunting. Why is this artifact important? The arrowhead shows us how Native Americans lived. They learned to make tools from items in the environment around them. So all of these are important questions to ask yourself when you're looking at any artifact to help you gain a better understanding of what you're looking at. Now use the bottom artifact to answer the question below. So we're going to use this artifact right here. What is this artifact and how do you think it was used? Explain your answer. So please make sure for this section that you are using a complete sentence or several complete sentences to describe what it is that you're looking at. Now pay attention to what these are and what they look like that you use every day, what this big item over here is, and what you would use something similar to that in your daily life now. Please make sure, again, your name and date are on all of your pages, that you're using your very best handwriting, and that you're answering everything very carefully. I hope you guys have a great day. Take care, third grade. Bye-bye.